Yeah, you see, we have, because of the Supreme Court decision in 1976, we have this situation in Malaysia where you can cross, you can jump. And even if you ask the candidate to say, to sign a pledge, like, you will jump or you have won, it's not going to be valid. Unfortunately, we had that law. Of course, at that time, that fellow jumped, that's why I was valid. So you need a constitutional amendment to change it, to prevent party hopping. But as you know, constitutional amendment means you need 2/3. And that's why I tried. When I was made minister, one of the first things I did was I could foresee this instability, knowing the political culture of our country, knowing that some candidates are not as strong as others, knowing the weaknesses, knowing the propensity of Barisan to buy, knowing all those things. I suggested that we should have an anti-hopping law. And of course, it was rejected by Barisan, of course, because I didn't know they were planning to take over Perak. Yeah, so, but for so long as you have this situation, you can minimize it by having good scrutiny, good vetting, good candidate. You can minimize it, but you cannot totally stop it, because for so long as people are attracted to power and money, and good money, and for so long as some of the children are not financially independent, and for so long as they have some problem, and for so long as you have a prime minister who takes pride in doing this sort of, buying over people, not only buying votes, buying elected representatives, we're going to have this problem. So I think you have to be patient. The opposition will try our level best to minimize it, try and get better candidates, try and do all those things that Petra and everywhere else said, but there's no guarantee. For so long as Barisan has the money, has the power, and has the need, and has the interest to destabilize, we will have it. That is why the next election, one way of ensuring stability is to give us a big margin of victory. Thank you.
I noticed some others scribbling. If they would like to add on to that, please feel free. Otherwise, we'll take another set of questions.
Yeah, I think there are two issues here. One is the selection of candidates, and the other one is the seat that will be divided among parties. As far as this is concerned, I think we have already the 2008 agreement, and probably we can start from there. So there should not be much squabbling for seats if we can follow the seat division from the previous election. If there are any other changes, it should be on the agreed basis, for winnability and so on. As far as candidates concerned, I think all the three parties are equally at fault in the last election. Keadilan have some leaving the party. The APs too have got a share of candidates leaving the party. And so did us. We lost one candidate in Pasir Mas Kelantan. Who stood as a candidate of our party. I think if we can start looking for candidates early, maybe now, since it's already in the middle of the term, then we should be able to expose him and at least to understand whether he can fit into the national political scenario and the responsibilities that are to be given. So I think all the parties, I think we are already now in the process of not really shortlisting, but looking around for candidates, especially in places where the personality of the candidates will determine the victory in the area. And as far as choice of race, background, I think the experience for the Rakyat, Dr. Maria from past, which won in a seat where the majority of voters are non-elite, is a good example that it is the support for the Pakatan that really matters. The candidate must be good, but I think the Pakatan show must be able to convince the people, and after that, even though we are standing on different symbol, because I don't think it will be possible to have a common symbol in the next election. So I think the strength of Pakatan will get us through. Thank you.
Thank you. If you could have a show of hands, please. 4 questions again. Please let me. So, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, sir. Number 1, please.
Corruption is considered a cancer in society, and when Malaysia became independent, the Malays were the core component in the entire composition. Perhaps you could elucidate how this corruption came about and who generally was responsible for starting this corruption in society. The other comment I observed was the gentleman with the hat that made a comment that when the Indians were on the run in Kampung Baru, the Muslim Malays opened their doors and gave them security. I only wish that the same thing could have happened to the Muslims of India, in Gujarat, and the Muslims of China, who are in the Uyghur section of China. Thank you.
Thank you. So the second point is an observation, presumably. Okay, thank you. Number 2.
Hi, my name is Ryan. What does the panel think? What does the panel think about the Judicial Appointments Commission? Do you think that judiciary in Malaysia is independent? And what specific policy objectives does Pakatan have to preserve and protect the independence of the judiciary?
Thank you very much. Question number 3, please.
Hi, I've got very interesting questions. Throughout the day today, we're talking about Malaysia to be a multicultural, multinational country, and here we have a party like PAS, and where they want Malaysia to be an Islamic country. Now, I don't really understand why do we need to have this new agenda of Malaysia being an Islamic country, when in England we do not want, we are not looking England as a Christian country. So what is Pakatan Rakyat stand and PAS stand about this Malaysia as a country being an Islamic country as well? And my second question is that I'm really ashamed to see many of your panel speakers today referring people like myself, my skin color as an Indian, but I've been there for 24 years, my parents have been there for 50, over 70 years, but I think we all should be Malay. We are not Indian, we are not Chinese, we are Malaysian Malay, and that our bangsa should be bangsa Malaysia rather than being bangsa India or bangsa China. So my question is, in the next election, if we are wrong, will they change the concept of bangsa India, bangsa China into just one bangsa, which is bangsa Malaysia? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question. And finally, the gentleman over there, the last question, please, question 4.
Yeah, my name is Felix. I think mine was more just an observation rather than a question. I think the observation I was making was when we say that we're talking of the issue where you said on the vote, the cross-party movement. I think you mentioned something about trying to stop the law, create a law to stop cross-party movement. I'd rather think that it's more important that we choose the right candidates at an early date, early time, rather than worry about making legislation that stops cross-party movement. Because if I'm not mistaken, cross-party movement is prevalent not only in Malaysia, in the UK, and in many other countries. Cross-party movement is prevalent everywhere. So I think creating a law to stop cross-party movement is not going to help. Rather, more the early selection of proper candidates that are more supportive and that are more steadfast in their, unity for PR. I think would be a more prevalent case rather than trying to change the law on the cross-party movements.
Thank you.